Well, thank you so much to the Premier of Victoria. Jacinta and I have been in almost hourly contact over recent days, and as well, Lisa Chesters, the federal member here, has been engaged as well constantly with myself and with Christy McBain, who's been on the ground here as the Minister now for 2 days. And the opportunity to be briefed here at the Bendigo Centre has been important. To say thank you to those extraordinary workers, emergency management, police, fire, volunteers who've come in here and are making a difference for their fellow Victorians as well. But also a shout out to those people who are travelling, who've come from New South Wales, who've come from different areas, volunteers who come to help their fellow Australians at a time of need. I always say that at the worst of times we see the best of the Australian character, and we're seeing that right here in Victoria at the moment. And I also thank those people from the National Emergency Management Agency who've been here on the ground, the National Aerial Firefighting Fleet that we established, making a difference, meaning that action can be done quicker than it was a number of years ago, because of those resources, because of the coordination, and because of the planning that goes into events. There was a national planning mechanism where we brought together all emergency management services in Canberra once again to go through these war game, effectively, what would happen when there were incidents. And today, tragically, there are multiple incidents that are very varied, the opposite indeed. The last time I was here at this centre, we were dealing with floods. Now here we're dealing with fires, but in far North Queensland, they're dealing with the consequences of flooding and a cyclone event that I'll talk about as well. So here I think the remarkable stories of people following advice that we've heard, neighbours helping neighbours, people really working with the best of intention with each other as well. My message to Victorians is pretty simple. We've got your back, not just during this crisis, but through the recovery as well. And we'll work cooperatively with the Allan government to make sure we deliver what is necessary so that people and communities can get back on their feet after what has been a very difficult period. Yesterday, the federal government expanded our support for disaster recovery funding arrangements through the now 18 local government areas, and the Alpine Resort have access to this funding. It provides for individual one-off assistance payments, personal and financial counselling, removal of debris, and ongoing support for state agencies and local councils for counter-disaster operations and restoration of essential public assets. We have our National Aerial Firefighting Fleet on the ground with, or in the air most importantly, is operational with assets deployed here in Victoria supporting the firefighting effort. Our Australian Defence Force is providing support, whether that be accommodation or through catering and access to staging areas, and the Australian Defence Force stand ready to provide further assistance, led of course by another great Victorian, my Deputy Richard Miles. Today we expand our support in partnership with the Victorian Government with an additional jointly funded package for emergency fodder support for primary producers. Based on the initial assessment and impacts of the bushfires, it's estimated that thousands of head of cattle are likely to have been impacted and in need of urgent attention and care. This package of funding will assist primary producers with the extraordinary costs of undertaking immediate and emergency livestock fodder distribution to ensure the humane treatment of stranded livestock, and it's great that we had the VFF with us here today. In addition to that, we've activated the Australian Government Disaster Recovery Payment for those who've been communities worst impacted. This is a one-off immediate payment of $1,000 per eligible adult and $400 per child who've been severely affected. It's available for people who've been seriously injured or who have lost their homes or whose homes have been directly damaged. And to check eligibility is available through the Services Australia website. While I am here in Victoria, I do want to say that our thoughts are also with our northern neighbours there in Queensland. The tropical cyclone Koji, that was declared a cyclone at 5 o'clock yesterday, crossed the coast between Ayr and Bowen just a short time ago this morning. This system is expected to bring large amounts of rainfall to coastal areas of North Queensland and potentially inland areas as well. Dangerous and life-threatening flash flooding is a major risk along a significant stretch of Queensland's coast. The situation is dynamic and likely to change regularly, so people should actively monitor local emergency services and the Bureau of Meteorology for updates. Once again, the federal government stands ready to assist the Queensland government, local governments and the people of Queensland during and importantly in the aftermath of the event. I spoke with Premier Crisafulli and Premier Minns, of course, yesterday as well, and we stand with Queenslanders at this difficult time as well. One of the things that occurs in this great country is that governments come together, Commonwealth, state and local. We work cooperatively in the interests of our citizens, and we'll do that here in Victoria, but we'll also do that wherever these weather events are having such a devastating impact on individuals, on families and on local communities as well.